So eons ago, I hired a lawyer to handle my trademark, and because of her interesting techniques, I had to rebrand. So let's see what I had to toss out because of her interesting techniques. Happy March! I am doing a thumbnail for my first ever sponsored video, and it's gonna be launched on the 3rd, so this is gonna be like posted way later than that. I'll post a thumbnail here. It's actually pretty exciting, and the process was not as bad as I expected. I did have to revise the script like 5 times, and I did have to reshoot, I think like 4 parts, but it wasn't that big of a deal. And basically to make it easier for me, I wore the same exact outfit, so it's like this and this sweater. So just in case I had to redo certain shots, I can just put it on instead of like filming the whole thing over again. So I'm so glad I did that, because I was like, I kind of want to wear makeup, but I know like my skills is not that good that it's gonna look the same every single time. So I was like, nah, no makeup, basic outfit, and call it a day. So I'm glad I did that. You're also gonna notice that February vlog is non-existent. Not much happened. I did have like a month-long Black History Month sales. It was like 4 in total, and I did have to ship some items to a manufacturer, but that's about it. Honestly, it was not really an eventful month. March is more busy because I did get samples, and we are, finalizing certain pieces. So that'll be really exciting. Okay, so I need to measure some samples. They're like the second round, so it should be pretty on point or close to it. And I do want to talk about the tariff situation because it's getting out of hand, as you know, but I think there's some details that people don't realize that I had to find out in the middle of the sample production process. So we all know that there's tariffs from certain countries to the US. And right now, as I'm speaking, what is this? Oh, it's inside out. As I'm speaking right now, there's also tariffs from the US to certain countries. So I understand people assume that the only tariff they have to pay is from the country to the US. That is typical in the, commerce world. But what I had to do, I had to send, certain items to one of my manufacturers to use as a reference. So that means the tariff from the US to that country was activated. I had to pay for it. And the reason why I paid for it is because that country knows that they have the advantage that even with paying that tariff, that is still cheaper than producing items in the US. Could I have said no? Yes, but that would damage the relationship I have with them, and I'm not risking that. So it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? So as of right now, so I guess, for example, the tariff for China, because I'm getting stuff, in bulk right now, the tariff for China is 25%. It was 10%, then it was 0. Now it's 25% or 20, whatever. So I have to make the executive decision to remove certain items from release. I think I have two in mind that I don't mind pushing back. I mean, it sounds rough saying it like that, but that is the reality of the situation, which is unfortunate. I hate that I have to do that, but the tariffs fee is like so much. Like I could use that money for a bulk order alone. That's how big the tariff, fee is. And there's people saying, okay, well, this will give an opportunity to, buy items in the US, have everything made in US. If you want to believe that, you can believe that, because what you're not realizing is, yes, there's certain items made in the US, but they get their items from China and Mexico and Canada to make that item. They can order supplies, bring it to the US, make it in the US, then sell it. That's considered made in the US. I guess people realize or assume that if it has made in the USA, that means that everything in that item or good or whatever is made from the US, like made in the US, like the fabric threading or what manufacturing, the metals, steel, what rubber, whatever. But no, they get parts or supplies from, let's say, Mexico now, because I think they're like the biggest producer in automotive, I believe. I don't know, but they get the supplies or parts from Mexico, bring it here. Now it's an American car. So I'm curious to see what happens in the next few weeks with this. There's always something like changing. Even one of my manufacturers is tired of it because they're always pivoting with like their other customers. And it's a mess, you know. We as Americans are annoyed, of course, but they are also annoyed as well because the orange man just keeps changing every single day. We have to keep track of it. They have to keep track of it, and it's just a lot. So that's the gist of it. It's annoying. I hate this. It's exhausting. And that's my rant. So eons ago, I hired a lawyer to handle my trademark. And because of her interesting techniques, I had to rebrand. So let's see what I had to toss out because of her interesting techniques. First off is this backdrop. It's 10 by 8. I really love this. I recommend getting this height when you do vending events. I learned recently that they're not for me. I'm more online-ish. So it's a learning experience, but still gotta go. I think these are like price cards. Yep. That. Might keep this one though. Random like thank you cards. I give them out on like vending events, and in the back they have like discount codes. I regret doing this. I did leave a space. Actually, I'll show an example. So you can put a sticker in the back, so you don't have to like print, you know, the same one for the same event and have like a lot left. You can just like print a 50, 500, have it blank, use 100 at a time, keep it pushing. And this is a bigger price, which we'll call it. Paper is going, frame is staying. A free tote promotion. They're all gone, thank the Lord. Would I do totes again? Yes, but I think I'll do maybe blanks or keep it really, really minimal. This is a smaller backdrop. So the first one was 10 by 13 and this one is 6 by 8. So typically when you do vending events, you could have like two options, you know, 10 feet wide or sometimes 5 feet wide. I did 6 feet. I don't know why, I can't explain it, but they typically give you a little wiggle room, so I was like, all right, let's do 10 or 6. That was quicker than I thought. Do I regret what happened? Absolutely. But mostly because, you know, the money wasted and the time wasted, because when I was getting a new name, I had to wait to produce anything or market anything. I mean, I could still market, but I just felt awkward doing that, knowing what was happening in the background. So that is what I most regret. The silver lining is that the new name, Torpid Flock, it fits more into what I want out of a brand. So yes, it's a silver lining, but damn, it sucks that this had to happen for me to get here. So that's it for this vlog. I will see you guys in April. Well, technically the April vlog, it's April when I launched this because of editing, but have a good day, good morning, good evening, good night, depending where you're at, and take care. Bye.